Okay, welcome back to Rimworld, episode 7, and we are motoring along. Well, yeah, let's go. We've got ourselves quite a bit of stuff now. Gonna send our guys out to get more, is it slag? I think it's called slag. Just, slag. Raw materials, raw metal. Because we need all the metal we are going to get, because we are intending to fly out of here. We don't want to hang around forever. We want to build up our ship, get out of here. But you know, that's going to be tough because each piece is very expensive. So we need all the metal we can get, and before that we need to be able to make sure we can survive and sustain a viable population. There we go. Here we go, digging out our what will be our dining area and an emergency room, I think, as it turns out. Just doing some trading. We'll buy an M24 and an Uzi. Very useful. I like to get as many automatic weapons as possible because they are just so useful. You have to be very careful with your colonists though when you set them up, because they will hit each other if you don't be careful enough. This is especially bad if you have a minigun. They can kill each other pretty quickly that way. Yeah, so you see me putting in supports in the dining area and a spare bedroom before we actually dig out the rest. I just want to minimize the risk of just crushing my colonists accidentally. It's never good when you see that come up and then you see the names of the people in the list who have been crushed by the roof. It's not nice. So this is another 20-minute episode. I'm going to keep going with this format, I think. They'll be around 20 to 18 minutes. It seems like this time around Shadow Play was splitting them pretty nicely into about 7 or 8 minutes. Or a little bit more than that each. So it was about up to 9 to 10 actually. You know, if I want to make it up to 20 minutes. It looked like it's doing pretty well. But I had a recording recently. I don't know how it determines when to split them up. Oh, watch this. These guys are just going to go. See, this is the problem with those doors. I really want to make it so my colonists can't interact with doors, but you can't do it. If my colonists stopped interacting with doors, they could just run out there. Well, they could just ignore that entirely. They never have to go outside for anything unless I tell them to. If we removed the doors, there is an issue there actually. If we remove the doors from both the entrance to the kill zone and just the outer entrance, if that was just all open, they could run in, and then they would immediately get behind cover, right behind where the killing entrance is, the entrance to the kill zone. And it seems the way the AI works is if you have a door there, they'll all run along, group up right outside, all smash it down, and they'll all run in as soon as the door is broken down. And the turrets take a second or two to fire, so they're not immediately retreating. So they just run in, you get one really good burst, and you usually take out 4 or 5 of them in one go. But if it's open, they'll see them first and start attacking them first. So they'll hide in the hallway using the walls as cover, which can be problematic for your turrets because your turrets will just be hitting the wall most of the time. It is okay, but if you have a large group of them out there, it can be a bit troublesome, just a bit annoying to be honest. Because we can survive most of these attacks, it's nice to just deal with them quickly and be done with it, because we really just want to get out of here. We don't want to have to spend our time dealing with them. we go. We're going to recruit another person. And change our... Yep, we should change our old beds. I always keep the old beds around. There's no point removing them. Unless we're really low on resources. Oh. What's happening? Oh, you see, that guy... He died pretty quickly, but he was taking cover outside because we hadn't replaced the door in time. Yeah. So anyway, I leave the old beds there so I can use them for either an emergency prison, like we just did there, or I'll turn them all into hospital beds, because you will have times when all of your colonists need a bed, for a hospital bed. I've had a couple of those instances before, especially if you have to deal with other types of events, which we haven't seen yet in this playthrough. They're coming though. Lose some good people, I think, but you know, like I said, don't remember any of their names. I am just an observer. I wonder what the relationship is between the people and the player on this kind of game. Like, what am I to them? Am I like... Are they just receiving orders? Like, if I give them the order to mine, are they receiving that and are they thinking, oh, I need to go mine that? It's ridiculous, but, you know. Obviously, that's not what happens. It's a game, and the mechanics work that way. That's just how it's programmed. But I like to think of them as that's kind of what's happening to them. Like personify them a little bit more than just these little AI entities who don't have like thoughts. It's a fairly in-depth system by the looks of it. You guys probably don't know, but I don't think I've mentioned it before. I am a programmer myself. I'm not an AI programmer though. I am a web slash DevOps slash everything developer. I don't really work on games or anything, but they do fascinate me. Now, a lot of people have said that this game very much looks like, is similar to Prison Architect. I would like to argue against that because it is incredibly different to Prison Architect. I find Prison Architect fun for different ways. Prison Architect is very locked down in its mechanic. You are building a prison. You have, it's not like giving you a world to build something in and do what you want. I could literally do what I want in this. There's no penalty for doing whatever I wanted. It's not based on money. It's based on resources. And I like having all the separate resources the way they are in this. Whereas in Prison Architect, it's just money. That's it, really. There are resources, but that's what the money is for. You pay for the resources. You don't mine them. You don't have this interesting mechanic where you're building out into a mountain, or, if you're not there, you can't really build a colony as such. It's not the same. You'd have to, farm food and things like that. So I find Rimworld to be much more compelling a game, just because of the possibilities that you can have. Here we are setting up our internal, one of our internal places. So that's a smeltery. So we're going to start cooking up the scrap metal that we've collected. Not a lot of it though. What I usually do with those is I set up a bill to smelt anything within the region. So they'll always do it as long as it's within the nearest stockpile. Because we don't usually see much in that region, so they doesn't keep them busy unless we tell someone to go and get some. And the same with the food as well. I will only get them to do the food in that region, and also the rocks, turning the stone into bricks. Same thing. That's basically going to be my production area where we make all the stuff. Here we are setting up cooking. I don't know what the other thing is. I think we have to end up in the end setting up almost 3 cooking stoves, because we get so many colonists. We end up having about 2, I think, dedicated cooks, maybe 3. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I was going to turn the room next to the dining area to be the some pirates or raiders. They're not going to last very long. I did think about putting the cooking stoves and things like that next to the eating, the mess hall, I suppose it could be. But it's I decided to move them in the end because I wanted them to be directly next to the resources rather than there. I will set up a dedicated stockpile for meals because I like to keep them separate as well. It keeps, you can put it in an ideal location. You people don't have to go there so often, or they it's easy for them to path to. I still don't think we've hooked up those batteries yet. I think I forgot about it at this point. I play this game at such, pretty much high, top speed all the time. I always forget about things. It's a very compelling game to play and watch. There's a surprising amount of micromanaging. I thought this was going to be kind of like one of those games where you not really terribly have to micromanage. You have all these orders and stuff, and people can pretty much be autonomous, kind of like Evil Genius. Although I think that's actually probably the downside of Evil Genius, that you ended up having so many minions that they were kind of meaningless, and all I did in the end was end up cheating anyway to get infinite minions, or as many as I could get. Maybe I'll play some Evil Genius at some point. I don't think it runs in 1920 by 1080 though. Oh look, we accidentally let someone... Did we let someone in? Oh no, it's just one of our guys. Looks like we have a female psychic drone currently affecting one of our colonists here. And they've just gone insane. Poor guy. Gal. Poor gal. Yeah, you'll always have spare prisons. At least one spare prison bed, because if your colonists go insane, you really need to act quick and arrest them. Once they have all of their own rooms, though, you can use their previously owned bed as a prison bed when they go insane, which is what I tend to do. Looks like we were attacked by squirrels again. That happens a lot of the time. But that's. I guess psychic drones are one of the most common things. I guess that's a type of psychic drone anyway. I mean, it doesn't say it is. But we've almost completed all of our research. We just need 3 more things, and then we can. We'll have all the research. We could technically be building parts of the ship now, but we don't have anywhere near enough metal at this point. See, look at that, our mess hall is working perfectly. Basically, when everyone wakes up, they all rush to get a meal, run back into the mess hall, have a chat, say hello, good morning, and then they run out, get to work. I mean, that's brilliant, I love that. That kind of efficiency I love to see. And it's good because it keeps their spirits up, they get to talk to each other and say, oh, how was that raid today, that pirate raid, yeah? Defense is holding up. All good. Yeah. Mine a bit more rock, did you? Yeah. Pretty good. Pretty good day. I'm glad they didn't get too bored. It'd be nice if they had, if we could build more recreational things for them, though, to do. To help keep their spirits up when they're being attacked by a psychic drone. I have figured out that if you build the cryogenic pods for the ship, if all of your say there's a psychic drone for females or males, you can send them all into the cryo sleep and just wait out the thing. As long as you have enough colonists, maybe 10 at least, then you can survive that usually, with just half of your crew or however much the percentage is. I don't think there's a particular bias either way in this game, so there we go. We just need to expand our stockpile, our main stockpile, because we are running out of space, or we have run out of space rather. I think we end up extending this even further, so it almost takes up all of the available space. I like to keep a nice surplus of stone because I like to place large stone floors everywhere. Yeah, let's... Oh, we've finally hooked up those batteries. That's nice. Add more small panels, get the batteries up to full charge. Oh, now we've got a male psychic drone. So a good tactic for the psychic drones is to cancel any orders that you've got people doing. Like if you've ordered them all to mine something, just cancel it, let them go back to just sort of hanging around. If you can do it, that's the best thing you can do, apart from if you have a cryogenic pod, and then you can just chuck them all in a cryogenic pod. Or at least anyone who's about to go insane, you can chuck them in a pod and just let them ride out the psychic drone. These seem to last about 3 or 4 days. Maybe it's a whole week. It's hard to say from this. But they're definitely a pain in the ass. Yeah, our power grids are still separate, that's nice. Although the largest one is now the interior base, the main base. I guess at this point it is promoted to that status because it has all of the main production inside. Ooh. Oh dear. Now this is one of those events that you have to deal with. And this is also what we need to build our spaceship. We need the AI core which is housed in this thing so that we can get out of here. Unfortunately, if we attack this thing and try to destroy it, lots of mechanoids will come out and try to kill us. Now, luckily, there isn't a proximity alarm on this thing, so if you get too close, it doesn't matter. As long as you don't directly attack it, you can build a nice defense around it and then destroy the thing. The problem is you have to act very quickly on this because it will keep driving people mad. I think it's about every day it drives someone insane, or every other day. And I'm just scrounging for metal apparently. I don't know why, because I've got tons of it. Oh, I suppose we are building a lot of turrets. That could be the reason. Once we get that complete, we can just let the turrets do the work and sit back. Unfortunately, we've got raiders and stuff attacking us in the meantime, so it's hard to deal with this. Luckily, it's so close to our base, though. But anyway, I guess we'll see what happens to this in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike. See you later.